Chapter 1 of Tecumseh. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Kathy Barrett. Tecumseh by Ethel T. Raymond. Chapter 1. The Boyhood of Tecumseh. 3 Indian figures stand out in bold relief on the background of Canadian history: the figures of Pontiac, Brant, and Tecumseh. The Ottawa chief Pontiac was the friend of the French, and when the French suffered defeat, he plotted and fought to drive the English from the Indian country. Brant, the Mohawk, took the king's side against the Americans in the War of Independence, and finally led his defeated people to Canada that they might have homes on British soil. And Tecumseh threw in his lot with the British in the War of 1812, and gave his life in their service. But while Pontiac fought for the French and Brant and Tecumseh for the British, it was for the lost cause of their own people that all 3 were really fighting, and it was for this that they spent themselves in vain. Tecumseh, whose story we are to tell in this volume, sprang from the Shawnees, an energetic and warlike tribe of Algonquian stock. The Algonquins, whose tribal branches were scattered from Labrador to the Rockies and from Hudson Bay to North Carolina, believed that a deity presided over each of the 4 cardinal points of the compass. Shawnee was the guardian spirit of the South, and as the tribe to which Tecumseh belonged formerly lived south of the other tribes, its members became known as the Shawanoes or Shawnees, that is, Southerners. Little is known of the history of the Shawnees, for they were restless bands, greater wanderers even than the generality of Indians, and their continual change of settlements baffles historical research. Upon the southern shores of Lake Erie, on the banks of the Ohio, and along the broad Mississippi at different times they pitched their tents. The name of the river Suwannee, or Swanee, corrupted from their own, marks their abode at one time in Georgia and Florida. The Shawnees were originally divided into 12 clans, each clan adopting as its totem a reptile, bird, or animal that at some time had been regarded as a benign spirit. As a result of continual wars and wandering, however, the 12 clans had dwindled to 4. Only the Mequachake, Chillicothe, Pequot, and Kiskapoke remained. In the first of these, which conducted all tribal rites, the chiefship was hereditary; in the other 3 it was the reward of merit. To the Kiskapoke clan belonged Tecumseh's father, Puckeshinwau, something that drops. He had been elevated to the rank of chief by his brother warriors, and at the time of Tecumseh's birth was a powerful leader amongst his people. The panther was the totem of his clan. Tecumseh's mother, named Methwatask, a turtle laying eggs in the sand, is said to have been noted for wisdom among the women of her tribe, and her name shows that she belonged to the clan having the turtle as its totem. After much wandering, Puckeshinwau settled down in the Ohio country with his family and the band that accompanied him in his migrations. It was in the old Indian village of Pequot, about 6 miles southwest of the site of the present city of Springfield, Ohio, and within sound of the rushing waters of the Mad River, that he set up the wigwam in which in the year 1768 Tecumseh first opened his eyes. We are told that a rich, wide plateau, gemmed with wildflowers, extended between the village and the river, and that precipitous cliffs rose on one side, while rolling hills crowned with tall trees completed the circle of the village. Tecumseh was the 4th child of a family of 7. His elders were Cheechika, the eldest son, Tecumseh, the only daughter, and Sawasikow. The younger children were Nahasumo, Lulewasika, and Kumshaka. The 2 last were twins, and twins were held in superstitious awe by the Indians, who feared them as possessed of occult power, and frequently put one or both to death. In this instance no such fate befell the children. Kumshaka evinced none of the dreaded attributes, and lived to a ripe old age. But Lalawasika, by his practice of magic and claims of supernatural knowledge and power, as we shall see later, bore out the ancient belief. Tecumseh, in his early days, was left largely to the care of his sister, Tecumseh. Thus, between the 2 there arose a strong attachment, which lasted until Tecumseh's death. From the well-known Indian practices in relation to the bringing up
Sample complete. Ready to continue?